For all of human history, one of the greatest forms of entertainment has been the theater. Now, regardless of what era you are in, theater and the performing arts has been sought after and used to entertain people, whether it's the Greeks with the Odyssey or the Iliad, or if you're in Victorian England with Shakespeare and Hamlet and Othello and Romeo and Juliet and all of those different plays, all the way up to today, where we've taken theater beyond just going to a theater to watch a play, but now going to a cinema to watching a movie. Even watching movies about plays like Into the Woods, or they've made Romeo and Juliet films and Hamlet and all the rest of it, right? And the reason we like to go see a play, whether it's a professional performance or it's your grandkids' kindergarten Easter musical, is because we get to see people be someone else. It draws us in, it encapsulates us, it immerses us in a fictional world where we see other people play as other people. It's also why, if you're someone who liked to perform in plays, it made plays so much fun, because you got to see another side of things. You got to literally put on the shoes of someone else and be them for 2.5 hours, or however long your play was. Interestingly enough, though, acting, performing, putting on makeup, putting on a wig, different clothes, even sometimes putting on a mask, it's an indicator, it's interesting, of one of the most lethal insults we can put on someone else, and that's calling them a hypocrite. Because think about what it means to be called a hypocrite and why it hurts so much, why it makes us defensive. Because what you're saying to someone is, what you see isn't who you really are. You're putting on a play in real life. You're not genuine. You don't practice what you preach. You say you believe one thing, but your actions partake in another. And from a young age, we're taught, be yourself. Don't be a hypocrite. Practice what you preach. And yet we still struggle to be genuine even to this day, and regardless of how old we are, whether we're 16 and we're in high school, whether you're 26 and a young adult, whether you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s, even into your 60s, 70s, and 80s, we can struggle to be genuine with who we are. And one of the easiest ways to be a hypocrite comes when we must put into practice what we believe when it's hard. It's easy to do it when it's easy to do it when it's easy, right? When it's easily acceptable. But it's hard to do it when it's hard, when you're not going to get the same response from people that's positive. So, that in mind, an opening question. When is it difficult for you to live out what you believe in your heart? Name a couple of occasions. Here in our Beatitudes series now, we are in the 6th week, and the 6th Beatitude of Jesus is this: Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. What is the connection, do you think, between being pure in heart and being pure in outward behavior? You know, what's interesting about this beatitude is that Jesus makes a connection between someone who is pure in heart is someone who will see God. So then, why do you think the pure at heart see God? What does being pure at heart mean, therefore, if the pure at heart see God? What does that reveal about being pure at heart? Let's look at those two questions together. What's the connection between having a pure heart and pure behavior? Well, simply put, a pure heart leads to good behavior. Someone can act pure, but not be pure on the inside. That's what the term hypocrite comes from, right? It's why it's an insult. It's why we strive to be true unto ourselves. But it leads to the question, how do we gain a pure heart in the first place? Well, that is answered by the second question that we've talked about today. Why do the pure at heart see God? Well, it's because to have a pure heart means to be in constant lockstep, walk and eyesight of God. Blessed are the pure at heart, for they will see God. To have a pure heart means to be constantly looking above and seeing God. Church people might have heard this before. We have to vertically look towards God first instead of looking horizontally out. If we look horizontally out, we lose sight of God, though we can see everyone else around us. But if we look to God, in turn, it will affect how we relate to those horizontally around us. The reason that the pure at heart see God is because the pure at heart walk loyally in step every single day with God, with their eyes focused on Him. So then, a closing question for us today in this short Sunday school lesson. How can you be better walking single-minded, step by step with Jesus every single day? God bless you. We'll see you next week.